Tonight, when the sun goes down, you'll flip a switch without thinking twice. But for over 300,000 years, every one of your ancestors spent roughly half their life in total darkness. Not dim, not manageable. Dark enough that you couldn't see your own hand in front of your face. So what did they actually do all night? It starts with fire, because without it, none of this was possible. The earliest solid evidence of controlled fire comes from Wonderwerk Cave in South Africa, dating back roughly 1,000,000 years. Fire didn't just keep our ancestors warm, it restructured the entire human day. Before fire, we lived like every other primate. When the sun went down, you found somewhere safe. And you stayed still, because moving in the dark meant becoming food. Our night vision is nothing compared to the animals hunting us. Leopards, hyenas, wolves, all of them could see perfectly fine in conditions where we were essentially blind. Fire changed that overnight. Literally. A single campfire creates a rough 30-foot radius that most predators won't cross. Step outside it, and the odds flip completely. Anthropologists studying modern hunter-gatherer groups have found that people who wander from the fire after dark are still, today, significantly more likely to be killed. That circle of light wasn't comfort, it was survival, drawn in flame. But here's what nobody expected fire to do next. It didn't just protect people, it gave them extra hours. Before fire, a usable day ended the moment the sun dropped, as few as 8 hours in winter. Fire added 2 to 4 more hours to every single day, and across thousands of generations, those hours quietly reshaped our species. In 2014, anthropologist Polly Wiesner spent years recording conversations among the hoansi Bushmen of the Kalahari Desert, one of the last groups on Earth still living close to humanity's original lifestyle. During the day, roughly 80% of their conversation was practical. Who's hunting where? Which plants are ready? But at night, around the fire, that flipped almost entirely. 81% of nighttime conversation was stories. Myths, jokes, tales of distant places, explanations for how the world began. Wiesner's conclusion was striking. Human culture wasn't born during the day while people were busy surviving. It was born at night, in firelight, with nothing left to do but talk. That's likely where we first learned to imagine things that didn't exist yet. Gods, futures, places no one in the circle had ever seen. But storytelling wasn't the only thing happening in the dark. Something else was too. Something scientists only rediscovered in the last 30 years. You were never actually designed to sleep the way you sleep tonight. In 2001, historian Roger E. Kirch spent 16 years digging through old court records, diaries, and medical texts, and kept finding the same 2 words repeating across 5 centuries. First sleep. Second sleep. Before artificial light, people didn't sleep in one continuous block. They went to bed shortly after sunset, slept about 4 hours, woke up naturally, stayed awake for 1 to 2 hours in total darkness, then fell back asleep until dawn. This wasn't insomnia. This was simply what a night looked like for nearly all of human history. And for centuries, historians had actually been reading this evidence and quietly mistranslating it because nobody could imagine people once slept differently than we do now. Then science caught up with what history had been saying all along. In 1992, psychiatrist Thomas Weir stripped all artificial light from a group of volunteers for a month, giving them 14 hours of darkness a night, just like our ancestors experienced. Within weeks, every participant fell into the exact same rhythm. 4 hours of sleep, a window of quiet wakefulness, 4 more hours of sleep. Nobody told them to do this. Their bodies simply remembered. Weir measured hormone levels during that middle window and found elevated prolactin, the same hormone released during meditation. Participants described it as peaceful, almost meditative, not a gap in sleep, a distinct state of consciousness most of us have never experienced. So, what killed it? Light. In the 1600s, cities began installing street lamps, Paris among the first, under Louis XIV. Then came gas lamps, and in 1879, Thomas Edison commercialized the light bulb. Within a single generation, the night humans had known for 300,000 years quietly disappeared. Here's a detail almost nobody knows. The word curfew comes from the French couvre-feu, meaning cover fire. In medieval towns, a bell rang each night signaling everyone to extinguish their flames because night was simply supposed to be dark. For most of history, being outside after dark without a lantern wasn't just unusual, it was often illegal. Night belonged to danger, to the supernatural, to a fear we've almost entirely forgotten how to feel. And then we conquered it completely. We flooded it with light and called it progress. But that progress had a cost. Modern humans are exposed to artificial light for 7 to 8 hours after sunset on average, suppressing melatonin and disrupting a rhythm that took millions of years to build. Researchers have found that people camping for just 1 week with zero artificial light have their melatonin cycles reset within days, their bodies remembering exactly what to do the moment we stop interfering. We didn't just change when we sleep, we erased an entire phase of human consciousness. That quiet, reflective hour between first and second sleep doesn't exist for most people anymore. We call it insomnia now and treat it like something broken. But what if it isn't? What if waking at 2 a.m. and lying there in the dark isn't your body malfunctioning, but remembering exactly what it was built to do? For hundreds of thousands of years, darkness shaped the human mind. Then, in less than 2 centuries, we erased it. If your brain enjoyed peeling back a mystery like this one, that's the whole point of this channel. Like this video, subscribe, and let's keep peeling.